afternoon. Are we having a good time? All right, we got some energy now. We started off a little slow. We ramped things up. We built, and now we have a lot of energy. So we're excited to get going. Just a couple of things. I hope you're having fun in the vendor area. I hope you're taking advantage of all the photo ops over here. Make sure to meet your favorite celebrities in the vendor room as well and get their autographs and photos with them. Don't forget, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Party. We're double featured tonight. That is an extra ticketed event, so if you'd like to go, you can get your tickets for that. You don't want to miss it. And we have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Collectors panel coming up next. So, without any further ado, let's introduce the person you're here to see. Please give a warm, second to Nashville round of applause and welcome for Mr. Warwick Davis. Warwick, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
How are you today? Have you been having a good time at the convention this year?
Thank
you so much for coming back again. We are so ecstatic that you, I guess you enjoyed your time with us last year and decided Nashville wasn't too bad and wanted to come back and do another round. So,
nice. It was good to see everyone.
I have to ask, you went to Dollywood last year, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Do you have anything you want to share, any highlights? Did you enjoy it?
I didn't ride a single ride. I ate some of the food, which was very nice. Sort of good old-fashioned kind of country cooking kind of thing. And went to a lot of shops. That was my time at Dollywood. And looked at some giant pumpkins.
Giant pumpkins?
Well, it was Halloween, so they had the pumpkin festival and all the lights. So it's a good time of year to go, if you're going to go. But I was disappointed. I thought Dolly would be at the gates saying, hello, welcome, Warwick.
That would have been nice.
She wasn't there.
That's a bummer. But I'm sure they treated you with great southern hospitality.
Oh, I was very well looked after. Yeah, it was lovely. I recommend it.
That's fantastic. So I have a note to kind of break the ice. I've read that you've played the most characters per franchise in film history.
I've never heard that.
I think that might be true. Somebody could challenge me on that.
Oh, you mean most characters within one franchise?
In one franchise.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
within
an
one
interesting
franchise. Just like you have the most Lego characters as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So what are we adding up there? We're adding up all the Harry Potter movies.
I guess all of the characters. Do you have a favorite disguise or a favorite...
well, how many are there in Harry Potter for a start?
Oh, goodness. You'd be able to tell me more than me. How many characters are there in Harry Potter?
I don't know. Well, generally were mine.
I'm sorry?
That's what I'm asking. How many characters did I play?
Well, there was Flitwick. There was the Gringotts goblin. There, Griphook, thank you. There was...
So we've got two
versions of Flitwick.
Yeah, does that count as another one?
Well,
he was the choir conductor initially,
yes.
So that's three. Then you're forgetting one of the goblins, two of the goblins.
Oh, and
one
I
was the goblin teller, the one that Harry first meets in Gringotts. So that's one, that's not Griphook. Then I did the voice of Griphook when Vern Troyer was playing him.
Oh, I didn't know you did the voice.
Movie.
I knew that Vern did the character.
And then in the latter movie, I was the full embodiment of Griphook as well, as he does say. And that's it. So how many do we have? I lost count.
That was 5, yes.
And then there's one more in the Ministry of Magic as well. There's a goblin called Patchcock Welt. And that's it.
Who gets to name all these characters?
Well, they're sometimes named by the Creature Effects Department.
Okay.
As in the case of Weeteeth Sayubi in Star Wars was initially called Tiny Teeth. So then he was renamed by Lucasfilm, whoever does the character names, as Weeteeth.
I think we might have a picture of him coming up here in a minute. Let's look at a legacy of Warwick's career. I have some photos that I've curated of some of the highlights. Not everything. The list goes on and on. If you look at his IMDb, it's extensive. You've had quite some career. Did you ever think going onto that Star Wars set the first day that it would ever lead to all this?
No, because you're just taking one day at a time, and at 11 you don't think of a career. You're just like, well, this is fun.
As your career continued, did you continue to take it one day at a time? Was that always the game plan?
I think you always have to, as an actor. You can't be complacent, thinking I'm going to be used in everything, because you might not. There's no law that says you're going to be used in anything else after the thing you're doing. So I just count my blessings as they come along.
Was there ever a time you thought, maybe this is maybe I'm going to do something else now? Or was there never a thought of that?
Just around the time between kind of Willow and Leprechaun, there was not really any work, particularly. And then Leprechaun came along and sort of things picked up from there, and I haven't stopped since, really. And I don't credit Leprechaun for that, but that's just been the timeline.
Right. So I think we're on the second slide of my images. I missed the first. So I think we had Wicket as the first one. If I missed that one, so we have Willow here.
That's Willow.
What?
Yeah, that's me.
So there you are. How did George? So Willow was a character created by George for you. Am I correct?
Yeah.
But you were too young at the time when he first met you.
Yeah, I was only I suppose about 14.
How long before he allowed you to age to develop that character?
Then it was 3 years later. We did Willow when I was 17. So
he thought you were ready.
Well, he did, but Ron Howard didn't, because Willow, of course, is a father of 2 kids, and at 17 he said that's a bit of a stretch for the audience to kind of envisage that. However good an actor you are, you're just too young to have had kids in the movie. So he auditioned all over the world. To all sorts of people. I think Peter Dinklage read for it, and ultimately it was given back to me. That was a joke, by the way. I think Tom Cruise even went up for it as well.
That could have been interesting. Somewhere there's an alternate universe where Tom Cruise is Willow.
Yeah. Well, am I then? Ethan Hunt.
Obviously. Let's see, what do we go to next? I did not memorize my list. I believe we probably... that must be a sign.
What is that noise?
I think that was a
computer.
computer.
We don't have to evacuate.
No, we're good. That was a computer ding. So from Willow, the natural progression for your career, I believe, went into Leprechaun, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that wasn't a particularly natural progression,
Well,
really, was it?
there was certain, and I am certainly going to skip some things because, like I said, it's extensive.
Yeah, let's skip that then.
Oh, you don't want you want to skip that one? That's fine.
Well, let's take a vote from the audience. Who wants to skip Leprechaun? Yeah, some hands have gone up. Loads of hands over there. Get out! Jesus. Okay. Yeah, we'll skip Leprechaun if you like.
Let's skip Leprechaun. We won't talk
come back if we get bored.
Absolutely. I don't think anyone's going to get
That's
bored.
Wald from episode 1.
So episode 1, let's see how many characters you played. I'm thinking of, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's the second one.
3.
I was thinking 3.
Weasel.
And
that was the character George kind of gave me because he felt bad sticking me in the rubber head again. So he said, come in and do something else. And that's what I ended up with. Hair extensions and sitting with Watto. Who is incidentally here at the show. I haven't seen Andy for years.
Is this the first Star Wars character that we've seen your face?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
What was that? Is there a big difference? Because the majority of your career leading up to this point, a lot of the characters were in a mask or in prosthetics and makeup. Yeah. How does your experience differ when you are yourself?
It's a totally different performance kind of ability you need. I mean, being inside a creature suit, you have to exaggerate your body language. You don't always have facial expression. So you have to express yourself through your body's attitude and that sort of thing. So it's a totally different discipline, really.
I'm curious how you developed your acting career technically. You started as a child with no acting experience.
Yeah.
How did you build your acting chops, for a lack of a better word? Did you take acting classes? How did you develop?
Now you just kind of watch other actors, I suppose. That's the best way to learn, is to watch the actors work on set. And just kind of, some people have a natural kind of ability. I'm not kind of bigging myself up, but I took to it very naturally, I suppose, kind of understanding character and, developing characters and that sort of thing.
Excellent. Let's see what do I have next up for us?
Yes.
Yes.
That's me.
That's Warwick.
I've played me all my life for 53 years.
There you were playing yourself. Do you have any fun stories from this show? Because it's such a fun show.
You enjoy it?
I did enjoy it.
Oh, thank you. Fun stories. Well, comedy is hard to do. I mean, it's not like a laugh minute. a very sort of serious business to get the funniest sort of out of a particular scene, funniest reading of a line. It's all about where you pause, where you put emphasis. So yeah, it's not like a laugh a minute as you imagine it would be, but Ricky is a great kind of director and performer as well. So is Stephen, and you know, working with him I learned loads, and also realised that now if you work with Ricky, you've got to be earlier than early. You know, if he says it starts at 8, he'll be there at just before 8, and if you get there at 8, you're late. So I learned very quickly to get there half an hour before I needed to. And then when we screened Life Too Short, man, like we were waiting for it to start for ages, and they were like, we can't start because Ricky's not here yet. And my son Harrison took great delight in going to tell Ricky he was late.
How old was Harrison at that time?
I imagine he was probably about 15.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Typical teenager.
Yeah.
At that point. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, what is this character's name?
It's Willow.
Wollivan.
I never know how to spell it when I have to write it on an autograph. Double O, double L, or both, I don't know. So Wollivan. But something you'll notice so far about all the characters I play, particularly in Lucasfilm Productions, is that they all begin with W, so as soon as they ran out of characters beginning with W, that's when the work stopped.
Have they come up with any new ones since?
I think they're getting desperate now. What have we had more recently? Who was like the naked guy that was in Last Jedi, the naked alien?
Was that you?
He had like a sort of Russian-sounding name, but I don't think there was a W in it, basically.
We need Kevin, the Star Wars trivia.
Anyone know it? There's a prize available. No one knows it.
They're going to chat GPT it now.
I don't know who he was, but anyway.
Let's see.
A lot of Wicket, W, Warwick, that was the 3 W's in that one. Wild, Weasel, Wollivan, I think that's it. Another Weasel in Solo, who was the same guy basically, but older. My droids though were DDBD and the fighting droid and trade droid, so no W's there.
Interesting. Let's see where we move to.
And there's Weeteeth Cyborg.
Weeteeth, yeah.
That's the one with the little teeth, little tiny teeth.
He is so fun. He's a mean little guy, he looks like.
He's a breed, what's he called? He's a type of alien, I've forgotten.
We're getting into that Jedi trivia.
That was with T. Like a temperate or something like that. Tempura.
When you create these characters, what do you think to try to, how are you thinking to try to make each of these characters so different than the other, as far as you're using just your body?
You're not always able to do it. Sometimes you're limited by the costume, or that determines how you move, because you can only move in a certain way. I mean, that one, I couldn't see anything. So the only way I could navigate the scene and the set was by guidance from a puppeteer in my ear, who would say, right, take 10 steps forward, left a little bit, right a bit, and stop, that kind of thing. So, you know, I'm walking totally blindly, trusting this guy to make me avoid obstacles and not look stupid during a shot. And also, the interesting thing about Rogue One was it was directed by Garth Edwards, and he has a unique style of directing where he doesn't say action. So most directors will say action, which will start the actors doing their thing in the scene. And as an actor, you're kind of trained to kind of, that's what triggers you to perform. And Gareth never would say action, so I'd be inside the head, unable to see, and I was not listening for action because they were basically rolling all the time, so filming everything. So you'd have to constantly be animated, even though you were boiling hot and couldn't see, and ready to perform at any minute. And it was just like a rolling take. So yeah, really quite challenging for everyone, I suppose.
Let's take a look at the next point in the career.
What could be next?
What could be next? There we are, we're in the Willow series.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Well, what was it like revisiting Willow?
It was nice because he's older and you think he might be wiser, but I'm not sure.
What did you bring to Willow in that new version? Because you're a more mature person.
Well, I kind of lent in the same way that Mark Hamill lent into the older Luke in the latter films. I felt that was a good approach. you know, if he's older and a more crotchety, perhaps, much like myself in real life, but that would be fun to do. So yeah, it was an interesting exploration of a character that I'd already played, and just a shame I don't get to do more of it, because I know there were more. There was another kind of 7 series kind of planned. They had a lot of big plans for it to continue on.
It's a shame it didn't go further.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good point to bring out our guest. Let's bring out Harrison Davis.
George Lucas.
George Lucas. Please give a warm welcome to Harrison Davis. You guys know each other.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Harrison. You haven't trodden in anything, have you, because your feet are showing? I always worry you look clean.
By the way, I was 9 when I was sure.
With 9, Lee?
Not 15, no.
No, I can't time to stand still when you're this old. So you were very cheeky. Do you remember going up to Ricky and saying you were late?
No. Well,
You did do that. Please say yes for the purposes of making him laugh.
yes.
So Harrison, welcome to Nashville. Thank you for joining us at ICC Con as well. Is this your first time in Nashville?
I think it is, yeah.
What do you think so far? Have you had a chance to explore anything yet? It's been a bit of a whirlwind, I'm sure, already, without getting to do a lot.
I daren't say this too loud here, but Harrison never heard of Dolly Parton.
No.
Listen to the gasp of horror.
That's all right.
Sorry.
My daughter's about the same age as you, and she probably didn't know. She might not know who Dolly Parton is either.
The problem is, I probably know the songs, but then not who they're by.
Oh, I see, yeah.
You know the songs.
Like you said 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I know the song, like, it wouldn't know who it was by.
Right.
Gotcha, yeah.
So,
Yeah, you are of
Yeah.
a certain era, whereas I'm an old man.
yeah.
So do we have a slide with? I think there's a slide with Harrison next.
There's a slide of me and you, look.
Yeah. Let's take a look and see if I went out of order or not.
You're very lucky, aren't you, inherited my good looks?
Harrison, what's it like growing up in a household with your father? Is it a lot of fun and a lot of laughs? Or is he more serious at home?
I don't have to think about it, just say yes.
Yeah, you are funny at home. Yeah.
I am funny at home. Why are your feet waggling? That's his line. That's your tell. When you play poker with Harrison, he starts doing that, then you know you win.
Let's see. That is not the. Is there another slide? There they are. Is there another slide with Harrison and? Let's see. I think there's
I think
a Wicket
the photo you're looking for is
comment
us
together.
from.
Oh, there they are.
There we are. That is Wicket the Ewok and his offspring, Pommet Warwick.
Now, I guess before we start talking too much about Star Wars, we need to back up a little bit. Your first foray into the acting world was Harry Potter, correct?
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did you get involved? Were you asked by the directors? Did your father? Was it his idea? Whose idea was it to bring you in and how that come about? And that's kind of up to for both of you.
I think it was Nick Dunman, the makeup supervisor on Harry Potter. It was his idea because the kids would come to visit often, because I spent most of their kind of formative years on the films. So after school they'd come and hang out, and so Nick got to know them very well, and I think he said to me and my wife, would you be up to having the kids be goblins perhaps? We could make them little, instead of prosthetics, do them slip-on masks to create the goblin look,
Yeah.
and make them little suits and stuff, which they did, and hence they ended up in the movie. So if you watch the first film, the
Part
last,
two.
was it Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Yeah.
So the first wide shot you see of Gringotts establishing, you'll see 2 little goblins go across the middle of the bank with a cart full of gold, and that was Annabelle and Harrison. Harrison wearing extremely long shoes. Describe the shoes.
They were just massive like a fit. I wore my own training within the shoes.
Yeah, they were like flippers, weren't they?
Yeah.
So you got this tiny kid. How old were you?
6.
About 6, trying to walk across in flippers, in a mask, unable to see. And after a while, got completely fed up and said, "I'm not doing this again." I said, "Harrison, you need to do it again, it's not quite right." He said, "Well, I'm not doing it again, I'm hungry. I need to eat." So then the producer, David Heyman, came running up with a banana. He said, "How's this, Harrison? Will you eat this and then carry on?" So Harrison sat in the producer's chair, eating the banana, and I've never seen anyone eat a banana so slowly. So you've got the producer standing there, looking at his watch, spending thousands of dollars per minute on this movie, waiting for him to eat a banana. That's got to be the most expensive banana in history.
I think the most important question, Harrison, how was that banana?
It was good, it was very good.
It was good.
I was getting my 5 a day in.
5 a day, 10 that day. That's the Gringotts Nana. So then, yeah, he got up again and we got the shot in the end, which was lovely. Thank you, Harrison. So now every movie he's done since, he has a banana rider.
Now, Harrison, you're a stunt actor. You got to do your father's stunts in Willow, correct?
Yeah.
Did you do anything specifically dangerous that you remember, or do you have any recollection from that was impactful?
Well, he got very wet on my behalf, didn't he?
Yeah. I nearly got hypothermia and then I nearly, what's it?
I'm going to say died. Don't be dramatic.
No, but like, I got,
What's the opposite of hypothermia? It's hypothermia.
But mainly,
Not hypothermia.
the rain machines,
Too
they
hot.
were so cold.
Oh, yes.
And, yeah, so it was just that more or less every other week it was.
Yeah, it rained a lot during Willow. But
Where was that filmed?
It was movie rain.
Where was that filmed?
In Wales.
In
But
Wales.
It didn't rain at all naturally.
Oh wow, the one time.
Rain they threw on us.
So it was
One whole
probably very
episode
cold.
was in the rain, basically.
Oh
It
wow.
like wasn't heated either, it was just like ice cold and
Yeah,
like, oh.
you did well.
And then there was one shot that I weren't even in, I was just in eye line, and then I was just getting absolutely
Still getting
drenched.
wet.
But I was just there for an eye line for the other actors.
Thank you for your sacrifice, Harrison. Another thing I would say is, Harrison would also be my photo double and stand-in, so he would have invited to come to work, about an hour or two before me, so they could set up the shot.
More like 3.
Oh, more like 3. So he'd get in at like 6 in the morning, be on set, line up the cameras with the team, ready for me to walk in and do my performance without waiting. And then whenever I turned up, he'd go, "Oh great, there goes the limelight." Because everyone was calling him Willow before that, weren't they?
I mean, some people call me Warwick, and like,
They still do that today. Harrison will write me a text saying, "Someone just shouted Warwick at me in the street."
literally it happens. It happens a lot.
Well, people shout Harrison at me in the street as well.
Harrison,
I always think they mistaken me for Harrison Ford.
Harrison, growing up as you did, going to the sets and
Well, he didn't really grow up. Look at him, he's tiny. Sorry.
I can say the same about you.
Thank you. Ooh.
See,
Just wait till we get you home.
last year was Kevin Lyle and Warwick going about. Now it's a family thing. I can't be responsible for this.
But sorry, I interrupted your question.
No, that's okay. You're allowed to interrupt my questions. Growing up in this environment, being on sets, growing up and watching your father in the limelight, is acting something that you aspired to do? Did you want to become an actor? Did you want to follow in his footsteps?
I think when I was younger, with all due respect, I think your film scared me a little bit.
Yeah, Willow scared you, didn't it?
Willow really freaked me out when I was younger.
Tell him what happened. I was in my office and I put Willow on so I could get on with my work, and that would keep him occupied for a couple of hours. And he came running in and said, "Dad, they're getting you."
The trolls are gonna eat you.
The trolls are going to eat me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like Willow when I was younger.
I don't know. I think some of the Ewok adventures were even scarier than that.
Yeah, those Ewoks are frightening, aren't they?
Some of them were. No, the
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes.
When I saw the image of me and Harrison from, what was the last Star Wars movie called? Rise of Skywalker. I don't know, they all blend into one, these things. That's what George Lucas said once. Anyway, So yeah, Wicket has got a son called Pommet, played by Harrison. How did that happen? He hasn't got a fetus.
How do we know that Ewoks don't?
I suppose there's a lot of furage going on, you wouldn't notice. Not
These
very
little
well
baby
endowed, I don't know.
Ewoks.
I mean, another question is, who is your partner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that part of Star Wars lore?
Is he
Do you
married
have-
or was
does-
it just a little Ewok fling?
Who is Pommet's mother? It had to
I hope
happen.
there's no kids in here. I can't see.
Ewoks had to have.
Sorry, mums and dads.
They
You can
were
have a
wild.
long journey home while you explain all this to your children.
They ate people. They were wild.
They were wild.
Yes, cannibals.
Especially in those huts, they were very wild. Can someone turn the AC up in there, please?
Well, with that being said, I think now is probably a good time. Let's see if we can bring the house lights up and see if anybody has
I
any
don't want to
questions.
see them. I don't want to see them.
Close your eyes. We have a microphone out in the audience. Somebody will come around and we'll get a question. We got somebody. I
There they are.
Here he comes to save the day. There we go. Jody's coming out here. We got a question over here on house on your left.
Hey guys, so if it's okay, I have two quick questions. One, what house would Hogwarts house would Willow be in? And two, in the Battle of Endor, do you have any fond memories of working with Wilford Brimley?
Okay. What house would Willow be in? I don't really know how the sorting hat works. I want to say Gryffindor, perhaps. I don't really know, but it sounds like a nice place for him to be. Everyone agree with that? Good. We'll have that. The sorting audience have decided. Okay, so Wilford Brimley, the old guy who was in Battle for Endor, he was also in Cocoon. And while we're filming on Endor, Wilford said one night, "Do you want to go to a premiere tonight, Warwick?" And I said, "Oh yeah." So we're going to get a limo and we're going to go into San Francisco and see a movie. And it was the premiere of Cocoon. And I enjoyed the limo, kind of strolled up and down inside serving drinks. It was great. And that was my first experience of a premiere in the kind of glitzy world of Hollywood, I suppose. So there you go, that's my fun story about Wilfred. And this guy has a question. He was up very early there.
My very young daughter here, Chelsea.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chelsea. How are you?
She immediately said, "Go ahead. Who's the mother?"
Ewok series finesse. Ewok Wicket like well you do, but you would tell him like finesse in the series.
Oh, is that his girlfriend?
The girl Ewok, yeah.
Oh, that's your
In the
mum.
cartoon series. So Kness is your mother.
So, is she like a little bit of a pinky one?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that.
She was really cute as far as Ewoks are concerned, I
She's
think.
a cutie.
Let's see, where are we? All right, here's Jody up here in the front.
Hi. Hi, it's nice
Hello.
to see you guys. I am a big Potterhead, huge. Ravenclaw all the way. With the new show coming out, have you guys been in talks? Either one of you, have you been in talks? Are you going to revisit, or is there anything going on there?
Not as far as I'm aware. I kind of read all the things that you read about what's going on with the series. And it's exciting that there should be more Harry Potter. We, all those years ago, made the movies and enjoyed doing that very much. And I suppose now it's time to hand over to a new set of actors to bring those wonderful stories to the small screen this time. And I'm sure it'll be equally as good and equally as fun. That's what it's all about, is entertainment, isn't it, at the end of the day? So I'll be tuning in with all of you, I suppose, and interested to see, the different interpretations of the story. Thank you.
All right, who else has a question?
When they were casting Wicket, were they deliberately trying to get someone really young to play the part?
Not initially, no, because the casting was rather unorthodox. It was done through an announcement on the radio, looking for short people generally, and I was just somebody who answered that casting call. And it just so happened that I happened to be 2'11" and much shorter than any of the other applicants. And they thought, wouldn't it be nice if Ewoks were, you know, of different ages, different heights, and that sort of thing. And I sort of stood out from the crowd, you know, being much, much shorter. And then brought my own sort of interpretation to the characters. I was basically an 11-year-old boy inside the suit, being naturally curious about the things I saw on set, namely R2-D2, etc. And kind of basing movement on my pet dog at the time, who used to kind of twist his head like that when he was interested in something. And so I brought that to the character, and it was quite endearing to watch on screen. So there you go.
Let's see, we got one there in the back.
Stormtrooper in the doorway.
So on
His
so
helmet.
on the topic of R2-D2, what was it like working with Kenny Baker?
What's it like working with Kenny? Well, it was unique. Kenny, if you've ever seen him on stage, you'd know. I mean, I never quite knew what was going to come out of his mouth at any point. He was a funny guy. I remember a story he told me once that he was staying in a hotel at a convention like this, and he heard a knock on his door in the middle of the night, and looked out the door to see what was going. And behind him, the door shut, but he was slept naked, so he was stood in the corridor naked. There was nobody there, and the only way to get in his room was to go down to reception. So he had to go and get a key from reception while wearing nothing. And also we were sat on the around the pool in Tunisia while we were doing Star Wars Episode 1, and we'd actually start filming at sort of 6 in the morning and finish at about 2 because it just got too hot to work. And so we go to the hotel and just relax for the rest of the day. I remember sitting by the pool with Kenny. So Kenny was in the very tiniest pair of swim shorts you could ever imagine. And yeah, don't imagine that. You never do. And George Lucas came by, and he said, "Hey George, I've got this idea about the R2-D2 head, because whenever he moved it too quickly, it would sort of spin off and go wonky. So he said, why don't we put some curtain track inside, and then the head will kind of clip on, and it'll be nice and smooth for me to do." And then George kind of just went, looked at him, when I think we should just nail the lid on Kenny, and then walked off. Kenny just left sort of bewildered. Yeah, I always refer to Kenny as the soft, squidgy bit inside R2-D2.
We're almost out of time, so just a couple more things. Harrison, is there anything that you'd like to share? Harrison, I don't know if everybody knows, Harrison, you're a bit of a gamer, am I correct?
I am, yeah.
Do you stream?
I used to a little bit. I haven't done for a while now.
All right, well, stay tuned.
Harrison's thing is, I'm going to promote it.
Do it, please.
Okay.
He does some, is it TikTok you're on, or TikTok, or what? What's it called? Instaface? I don't know, what's it called?
TikTok, yeah.
TikTok. So on there he shares his cooking skills
Whoa,
in
whoa,
the
whoa.
shape of, whoa.
Well, that is anonymous, but whether we
Oh, it's
say-
anonymous. I'm just giving it away.
Whether it's an exclusive for everyone in the room.
Okay, just tease them. They love to be teased. Okay, so Harrison is, well, he thinks he's a brilliant chef. So he comes up with these recipes which are, quite
Right.
frankly, the most
Right.
unnutritious meals you could ever imagine.
Hang on.
You will
No.
die of a heart attack within days of eating them.
Hang on, some of them are
Give us
good.
an example of one of the things you make.
I put cheese and chocolate in a sandwich.
Well, you could be American.
We do weird things like that. I like chocolate on popcorn, salted popcorn, chocolate and like chocolate syrup. That's a good one.
That's
So Harrison calls these wacky dishes, and he makes them.
It's on TikTok.
Yeah, check TikTok out. What do you call the wacky chef or something?
Wacky dishes.
Wacky dishes.
But I keep myself anonymous, so everyone in this room only knows when it's me.
Oh,
Now,
I
this is a
know.
secret. Nobody tell.
But there should be a health warning with it, because if you make the dishes, you will have the coronary.
I do actually eat them though, and they're all been nice.
Are you alright? But anyway, he gets AI to do the voiceover, which is funny as well.
Yeah.
Add pasta, or something it says. Eat
I love
stuff.
stuff. TikTok voices are amazing.
Yeah, they're good. So yeah, check it out. That's what Harrison does in his spare time. As
Yeah.
well as having a proper job, which you can't divulge here, because that, again, is top secret.
Yeah, I'm not out
Are you a
there.
spy? You work for MI5. Are you 003 and a half? That's what I did there.
Warwick, do you have any? Is there anything that you're working on in the near future, or do you have any final thoughts for us?
I'm doing another series of The Wizards of Baking. Anyone see that series? No. That's good.
But now I want to.
And on that note, well, what it was a good show. It was on the, what's that, Food Network. Yeah, thank you. And it's, as its title alludes to, it's like Bake Off, kind of baking cakes, but in a Wizarding World environment. Ooh.
Now they're interested,
Oh, now they realise. Is that a channel you have to subscribe to?
No, Food Network is basic cable.
All you gotta do is watch it. You ain't got to pay anything. Just use your eyeballs and watch. For goodness sake, please watch.
Watch it.
I mean, I think it's on Prime Video, but I don't know whether that's only for us in...
Yeah, we don't have to pay for it either.
It might be on Prime Video as well.
So yeah, it was basically, what was fun about making the series, well not fun, is that I was one of the judges. I had to taste the different cakes and then give it a kind of judgment on them. And we'd come up with an overall winner. And so they would make these wonderful creations like recreating Hogwarts in cake and chocolate. But the thing is, we filmed at the studio tour in London, and instead of closing the attraction during the day, they said, no, you can only film at night when it's closed. So at 3 a.m., I would be trying chocolate and sugar. I'll be totally wired by 6, unable to sleep. It was the worst thing to do. And then I remember the producer in my earpiece would say, Warwick, be nicer about the cake. I said, but it's terrible. It tastes like a supermarket cake. It's way too compact. So, yeah, I wasn't allowed to be honest.
You all have...
I was sort of dubbed the Simon Cowell of the cake world.
Well, you all have homework to watch Warwick's new show. We all have a secret to keep about Harrison's TikTok channel. And with that, I want to thank you both, gentlemen, for being here with us again. Thank you for joining us, Harrison. Thank you for joining us again, Warwick. Thank you so much. Folks, please stick around. Coming up next, what do we have next? Up next, we have, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle panel. We have Splinter and Shredder live here on the stage. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you soon. Can we bring